So today I'm going to be comparing the Lenovo Yoga C940 14-inch with the iPad Pro 10.5-inch with the Apple Pencil. Now, this is the stylus that comes with the Lenovo Yoga C940. I initially thought that it would be too small for it to be comfortable to use, but after actually holding it in my hand, I've actually found it to be quite comfortable. Now, the Apple Pencil in comparison is a lot larger and heavier. I don't actually think this is any more comfortable to use. Maybe it's even a little less comfortable because of how heavy it is. A useful thing with this is that in the pen garage over here, it keeps it charged all the time, which is quite handy. Now, right now I'm in Microsoft PowerPoint and you can get it in full screen. However, because this PowerPoint's in 4:3 and the display is 16:9, it means as you start writing, it eventually stops when it goes off that 4:3 slide. There are two customizable buttons, which I found really handy, so I can simply press it and rub it out like that. So it's actually quite comfortable to write. You can easily switch between the slides and just start writing. There's no lag after switching between your finger and the pen inputs. Now, comparing this to the iPad Pro, it offers pretty much the same experience in the PowerPoint app, but I do find that when you are writing, it's a little more responsive. So if I'm moving the pen like this, it's just really responsive, and I think it's possibly due to the 120 Hz display. As when I go back to the C940, there's just a little more lag. And something I noticed just doing that is that the screen on the C940 is a little more bumpy, a little more rough, whereas the screen on the iPad is a lot smoother when you're writing, and like the pen almost gets stuck whilst you're writing on the C940, and then you need more force to move it across the screen. Now, moving over to PDFs, I found a really good app for this is Drawboard PDF, which allows you to edit PDFs and add any writing that you want to. You can simply move anywhere, make sure the pen's selected, and then start writing. For the iPad Pro, the best app I found was Notability. Simply select the pen, you can move anywhere, and then you can write. I guess the other differences between the two machines is that this comes with only a 1080p display, which means it's not as sharp when you get closer to the screen. And another problem I have with this display is that there are a lot more reflections, and you notice in a brighter display when the curtains are open, for example, that there's a lot of glare, and it can be quite distracting. Now, finally, in the drawing app, you notice when making a straight line that it's not completely straight on the C940, whereas on the iPad, the line is almost completely straight. And I think this is a test called the diagonal jitter test. So maybe the C940 will be less suitable for artists because of this. So overall, I'd say that the iPad Pro provides a better note-taking experience, simply because it's more responsive. There are more apps out there that support the stylus input. The display's sharper and less reflective. I still think the C940 is good at note-taking. I haven't had any issues just drawing on PowerPoints. And it's really nice to have a device that both functions as my laptop, but also for note taking, whereas the iPad Pro can't really replace your laptop. So yeah, if you want the best note taking experience, go with the iPad Pro. However, if you want an all-in-one device, I think the C940 also does a good job.